Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of AngularAir. I'm your host, Justin, and on today's episode, we are going to get into a super exciting subject for me, game development. Some little game dev stuff with Angular should be pretty cool. Let's say hi to our panelists, then we'll meet our guests, and then we'll dive into the content. Joining us today, we've got Alyssa. Alyssa, how's it going down there?
Hi, so happy to be here.
Nice, nice. And we got Brocco in the other corner. Brocco, how's it going?
Not too bad at all. Just hanging out, looking to learn, looking to maybe play some games. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
And for those of you looking for an alternative pronunciation, Broco,
Don't start that.
I know I went with the Brocco today instead of Mike, because we got to kind of also help plug your new stream stuff, which is like
Save it for picks.
All right, we'll save it a little later.
Make sure to mention the ASMR section too.
Oh yeah, we'll have to bring that up. Awesome. And our guest today is Ahsan. How's it going?
Good. Very good, actually. It's Friday, so you can imagine how happy I am. Looking
Yes.
forward to the weekend. It has been a good, productive week.
Nice. We're super excited to have you. Do you want to fill in our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So I'm Ahsan. I'm originally from Pakistan, and for the past 2 years, I've been living in Sweden. I have been working as a software developer for about 9 years now. Fun fact: my first day at job was to learn what Angular is and to teach my seniors who were working on Flash and kind of help them move from that to HTML5.
Wait, I'm
So yeah.
confused. How can one do that in one day? Because you said, first day on the job. I'm like, so in one day, you not only conquered Angular, but you taught everyone else it. Like, what?
I mean, I was told to do so. It didn't
Oh,
take one
okay.
day for sure, but yeah, that was my very first assignment, getting into the job. So that was fun. Apart from that, I just stream on a couple of platforms. I teach programming. I have a YouTube channel where I also upload cool stuff that I build and would like to share with others as well. I'm also a Google developers expert in Angular, and I've written a cool book that you can find out later, I think. No promo right now.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to ask about that, so I'm excited that we get to hear about that as well. Very cool. All right, so game dev stuff. What's our topic for today?
Am I supposed to say?
No.
I think I am. Yes. So
Sure.
so yeah, definitely. I think it's really interesting in what we do in our daily jobs or work. We work on several web applications. Some of them are pretty repetitive. Some of them are very exciting. For me, it's always nice to try a couple of things, and when I see something that kind of boggles my mind, I think about implementing it myself or to deep dive into that. Some of the things recently have been some game development as such. I saw this really cool game called the 2048, in which you merge different tiles, combine them together, and then build them. So I'm not a game
Yeah.
developer at all, but I think if you are a developer, you can essentially do anything that you put your time to. So I recently was working on a couple of games, essentially, which the community has liked a lot, and they have showed quite a lot of love to that. So yeah, that's what we are going to talk about.
Awesome. I'm excited. I think
I-
maybe our panelists are
Can I
excited
ask you a
too.
question?
I love that game. Seriously. I was like, when it first came out, I was addicted. Although I'm very bad at it. My husband always beats my score. But it doesn't stop the love. So what was your question, Mike? What do you got?
So I'm actually pretty good at that game. I played it way too much. Back on my Windows phone. Yeah, way back when. Anyway, so you brought up all the stuff that you do. I want to talk about the stuff that you don't do. So in that you talk about, you see something interesting and you follow through and you want to create it on your own. So my question is, how do you go through and weed out the things that you think are cool but don't necessarily have the time? How do you prioritize those things of, hey, I do want to look into that deeper, but this really don't want to get as deep into that?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, and already in like within 10 minutes of the show. I think so. What I usually do is that I maintain a Notion doc for all of the things that I think. There are several sections, for example, experiments, videos, talks, and whatnot. I have practiced in my recent months to just focus on the very next thing and keep everything aside. So I at least keep them written somewhere just to kind of trick my brain that hey, it's an interesting thing, I'm going to get back to it, but then I prioritize the very next things that I want to do. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that I wanted to look into, like mono repositories, micro front ends. They all have been parked aside because of these prioritizations. So I try to prioritize them on the doc. One more thing is I also try to be involved and get feedback from the community itself on what they are interested. So they also aligned, give me feedback, because sometimes it's like, you know, you think something is really cool, but then you jump into it and then you stop like in the middle. And that's not just with development. Fun fact, my mom just thought that this new apartment is really cool and they should move to that. And it's on the second floor. And I said, no, mom, you cannot walk all that stairs. But she was like, no, I just went up and it was no big deal. I was like, no, just because you were excited, it's the dopamine that's just kicking in. When you live there, you're gonna have a lot of problems. I know you cannot do that. So yeah, I think talking to different people and getting their feedback also kind of makes you realize a couple of things.
Cool. No, I didn't want to derail. I just because I always come across lots of cool things, and my default is like, oh yeah, it's cool, maybe never. And but it seems like you're better at grabbing a hold of things, so I figured I'd ask.
This is the second like really successful, intelligent person that I've heard using Notion, and I'm like, am I gonna have to download this, man? Like, I just
It's a web app.
do I have to be
You don't have to download it.
organized? Okay,
You can just hit it in the browser.
Justin.
Not that I'm pushing it or anything, but go try. It's if you want.
So you're also using it? Are you as well, Mike? Is this just like everyone's into Notion and I'm like really late to this game?
I have a Notion or two.
Man, all right. We're gonna have to just have a how to Notion episode later.
However, I'm just using it for work. I am not using it in my
personally. Okay.
I am not qualified to how to Notion explain because mine's a hot mess, but I'm using it. So there you go. Neat tips.
Definitely.
Awesome.
I derailed this entire episode, and I apologize.
I love it. So Mike was actually telling me, he was like, Ahsan was doing this really cool hackathon game dev build in Angular. Can you get him on the show? And he was like, I was like, I haven't seen the episode. So I'm wondering, I'm really curious. Game dev in Angular sounds really difficult. I mean, game dev in general sounds difficult, but then you're like layering on like normal Angular architecture bits, and you're like, wait, do I just blow that out of the water and do whatever the heck I want? Like, do you have, how do you even get started, or do you, how'd that process go for you?
Really good question. I think so. For this particular situation, it was the hackathon that was pushing me. Yeah, the MongoDB hackathon, I think it ran for like a month, and I jumped in within 24 hours. And I think I spent like 16 hours, which contained like a 7 hours stream, a 4 hours stream, and something like that. And everything I built was online. So that when you have a really tough deadline, you somehow you start thinking smartly on the decisions that you have to make, rather than I do like this, but no, I don't have time for doing this. Just finish the MVP and then we can move forward. But yes, I think when it comes to game dev, in my university days, I have implemented little bits and pieces of games. So I knew about like collision detection, how that works. Not super smart there yet, but still some of that concept was still there. But when we talk about Angular, you are right. I don't think that anyone or any dev who is specifically experienced is gonna just wake up one day and say, I want to make a game. Let's build it with Angular. It's probably not the way people think, but I really wanted to do that because it is what it is.
Shorty was just like, he was like slowly raising his hand. I mean, I feel it. Like, I love Angular, and so I feel like it would be fun, but also I'm like, does it break conventions to do this? And you're talking about collision detection, and I feel like I should just get the paper bag ready, you know, because I'm gonna start hyperventilating. There's a lot of new stuff, so
I think people don't think about it because it hasn't been done much, and that's the only reason. Although it is, I mean, I found it so easy to implement what I wanted to do, especially because it was Angular. And if I picked any other framework or library to build this particular game, I would not have finished it in time. And not just because I'm good at Angular, but also because of the ecosystem. I didn't have to think about routing. I didn't have to think about, how do I implement Firebase into a project? We know it's Angular Fire. Just pick it and run it. I didn't have to think about the structure or the architecture much because I picked NX and I just went with the whole monorepo structure for that. So that really helped me with kind of doing all of that. And what clicked for me is, to be honest, I already had a picture in mind for the game. And luckily, that was from an app that's called Canva that I usually use for my thumbnails, for YouTube and whatnot. And I was just stumbling upon some slides, and I saw a slide, a template in which there was this game. So it was just some designs that were out there. It took some time to obviously take out the assets and kind of make it work with Angular, but the concept was already there, and I just had to implement how it should work then.
I love the use of the word just. I just had to implement an entire game.
That's all I had to do.
That was
It
it.
was done.
It was just to implement an entire game. It's fine.
And you're like, and obviously, I made it a monorepo, because why the flip not? And I'm like, what?
I think it can be easy for like, when we look at things, we think about a game like that game, right? When you talk about, okay, it's UI heavy, right? And it's like, okay, a lot of like that kind of UI integration and working with that. And that feels like right away, right? Because we're doing that in different apps and things like that. Then it's the plumbing that drives that behind it. But then you also start going further and further with it and start looking at, okay, what if I'm making like a 2D platformer game or something else that now needs these other parts? How does that equation fit in and sort of thing? And that's exciting. That's cool.
Definitely, yes. And I think there's so many kind of games out there that you could build. I mean, as Brocco said, there are some things that come to your mind, and then it's hard to say no to those. And this is one of those things. I mean, when I learned about stuff like Phaser.js and working with all those sprites, there was a time that I thought, okay, I should try those or at least learn those, but then I never could because I had so many other things to do.
Yes, Mike?
Yeah, I was trying to think of where I was going to go with that. I was going to go to the question in chat. So are you using RxJS in conjunction with the game dev? Because I know that I've spent an hour doing game dev, maybe an hour and a half. And it was a long time ago. It was part of a meetup, and it was like a .NET meetup where it was like, build a simple game. Okay, cool. We showed up and we all built a simple game. But you had to worry about the event loop. But is that less of an issue because you don't have to manually move things because you can bind? There's data binding in Angular. So does that make things easier that you can essentially just tell things where to go when they go versus actually having to move things?
I think yes, because I mean, personally, there are a lot of times when I usually don't go for manually moving stuff because RxJS is so good at managing those. So I personally believe that it makes things very easy. And the way I implemented the games as well, they also make sense because all I needed to do is changing the states per se. Now, sometimes it's pure RxJS, but sometimes there are libraries that use RxJS. But essentially, you can do the same with RxJS, and it makes much easy. I mean, when I think about Angular, the main word that comes to my mind is easy, because imagine when AngularJS came to my mind or came to life per se, And I was like, hey, we had jQuery and all of that stuff, and now there's this one little library. I don't have to specify document.get element blah 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 to get the value of the input and then put it into a p tag. What's this two-way data binding? And that was an amazing thing. And I think with all of the things that's coming along with Angular, that is essentially the same thing. Yeah, definitely.
Because my thought, like, I've had a few ideas for games, but they're not like interactive. When you think video games, it's more so like turn-based type things or companion apps to
Like
support.
chess?
Chess would be one. Yeah.
Okay.
That idea.
When you say
You take
turn-based, I'm like, what does he
turns,
mean
yeah.
by this?
Even at like different board games, like family board games, I hate keeping score on paper. So creating something to be able to support that through an app to be able to for everybody to have visibility to the scoreboard rather than just the scorekeeper and get tired of getting asked, hey, what place am I in? What's my score? And that's how
Yeah.
everybody.
Is that what they sound like?
Yeah. That's
Yes,
exactly.
Your opponents are always like, whoa.
You're only winning because you keep it score. So
Nice.
You're so much like Turtle Guy, my husband. He does the same thing where he'll build out little like things to keep track, especially if the game is complicated. And he built one out and published it so that our whole family could download it and use it. And the other day we were with his mom and she was using a different app like that someone else had published instead of the one that her son had made. And I was like, what's going on here? And she goes, this one has more features.
That's fair.
I was like, oh, the coldness, the cold-heartedness here.
No offense.
No,
Just
no
has
offense.
most features.
Yeah, I quickly ran over to my husband to break his little heart. It was fine. It was fine. But yeah, I was privately chatting. I was like, can we see some of the codes? I didn't know if we could show off what you actually built. And
Do we want to play first and then see the code?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Awesome.
Mike, you gotta relax though, Mike, because if you don't win,
I'm
might
keeping
get
score.
intense. I don't know.
Definitely. So I'm gonna first start sharing to just show off
Awesome.
what we have.
yes.
And then I'm gonna quickly create a lobby and share that as well. There you go.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look at this. Sorry, I love this kind of stuff.
It's multicolored like my goatee.
For sure. Awesome. So yes, this so I was talking about the Canva thing. So originally giving credit to whoever created this. I'm not entirely sure, but these are the assets that were already there in Canva. For example, this could be a game.
Really confused by Canva because my coworker, she was telling me we needed for like a Christmas event that we ran, we needed like snowflakes, snowmen, that kind of thing. And so she was like, oh, I'm pretty sure she said, I have a Canva subscription. And so she got me these SVGs off of there for that I could manipulate like in line with CSS. And they were really clean SVGs. And so in my mind, I was like, oh, it's just like individual assets like that you can grab. But now you're saying they have wireframes and things. I'm just confused by the
I
what
also
Canva
assumed
is.
that there would be some sort of SVGs that I could export, but I actually didn't find a way to do so. So I had to be a bit smart, or actually I found a way. In Microsoft
What'd you do?
Paint, I think there is a way that you can just open an image and use a magic selector to just click, and that particular item can now be extracted as a PNG. That's what I did.
What? You used MS Paint? You're so cool. It's just the layering of your coolness just keeps going.
It was under a lot of pressure, so that worked out very well. So I didn't implement all of these pages because of time limit. But essentially, in a short summary, what this game is that it's a multiplayer memory-based game in which every player plays their own sort of isolated version of the game, but they're playing it together. which means that I can go here and create a lobby. For example, when you open this, I'm going to share this URL in the chat as well. So it's called appflashback.com. And you can update your name. These features were actually added a bit later on. But essentially, you are randomly assigned a user. Initially, during the hackathon, I implemented Firebase login with this one. But then with the community, I realized, and this is probably something that I would like to share with the viewers as well, that the community was really interested in playing, but also there were people who didn't want to log in within the app, because you just created something in the hackathon. No one's gonna give you permissions to do so. And second reason, which was a very important reason for gaming, is that a lot of people on social media are using their gamer tags. They don't want to log in because that shows their real names when they log in. So it's really interesting to have it without sort of a login. So that has been removed, and now per browser there's a random user assigned, and then you can change your name if you want to. Then you can create a lobby, and as soon as you do so, you can share this with your friends, or you can directly just share the game ID. Depends on different situations.
Oh, fancy.
So I'm sharing the game URL with you. The person who has created the game has the luxury to start the game. I think the only thing I need to improve in the UX is that you cannot update your name. So I only see player 3081, but you need to go to homepage and update your name if you want to make it reflect here. And that should be right here then. And then
That's a cute little pop out. You should click on the info button and show it. It's cute. Yeah, he's cute. Yeah.
How many players does it support? Like, should I throw the link in the chat?
Yeah, definitely. I think I have. Right. I don't have any limit per se on this one.
Wait,
so we can.
Did you say we can rename our names, or we cannot rename our names if we're not the creator?
If you go to the homepage, you can go and click Let's Go and just update your name here.
Gotcha.
But you need to click the update button. Some people have tried just renaming and not clicking the button. There's a button. Click that.
Yeah, that's what I did. Awesome. So smart. Okay, I missed the update button. That's exactly what happened. Okay, I'm with you now. Okay, how are you? This is just like a token based on the browser.
Right now, I think so. Right now, if a new user just goes into the application, we check. It's in local storage. If the user is there, it's fine. If not, then we create it and then save it in the storage.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't have my updated name.
There it is. Braco, not Broco. I'm always gonna call you Broco in my head.
And then I will leave your head.
All right, are we ready?
I'm so excited.
Ready.
I'm so excited.
Ready.
Let's go.
Wait, what? Match the cards. Am I supposed to be matching? Do I go? Do you go? Who's going?
Everyone is going to go and try to match the cards as much as possible. And every subsequent click should be a match.
I was just clicking on colors. I'm like, these two colors match. Why am I not winning? Now I get it. My mouse is defective, so that's why I'm losing, probably.
My mouse is defective. Who's winning? Can we tell? Do we know? I'm so scared.
That's a feature to be added. Not yet.
Ooh,
someone did it.
No!
Someone did it.
No! Ferk, you started before me, and you know it, son. I was being patient. I was waiting until I was told it was okay to go. Wow. Rudeness. That was fun.
This is the status known as denial.
No.
All right, so it went until somebody cleared the board, and then they're declared the winner.
Yes, I had
and then
two
it let
options.
all of our game instances know that the game's
Yes.
over, and it stopped the round and brought us back to this.
Exactly. Yes. The idea was to either put a timer there that seemed too much for the time I had. So this was the easiest option. But yes, essentially, there's going to be. I do plan to take it forward to not only have this as a game, but also because it is sort of a game engine per se completely, because the round that you play, that's the only difference, and in the end you get score. So you have a lobby, you have a game, and then you have the scoring. So anyone could just implement any game in the middle and then have this whole thing working. So I was planning to add some sort of timer based situation as well, that you could specify some time, and then when it ends, then the game ends for everyone. And now this scoreboard is persistent as well, so you can share this if you have a community and some gameplays. And this was implemented during the hackathon, like all the gameplay itself, but there were some improvements that were implemented later on, but most of the stuff was done during that.
Nice. And then you're using Firebase to do the real-time
Yes, the
connection
Firebase
to
is
multiplayer. I'm assuming you're probably putting, when the round starts, and does everybody have the same cards? Like
No.
the same, like, okay, so everybody gets their own like card mix-up.
Yeah, that's right. I was not cheating.
So Mike got all the cards all the same, and all he had to do was click on any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just kidding, Mike. I'm sure yours.
I
were the
cannot-
toughest.
I can't wait to see I want to see how you did it. I want to see the codes. I'm so excited.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, if you have 6 hours, you can watch a video that was uploaded on YouTube. Trimmed
So
that
yeah,
16
you were saying you had two videos. Did you had or no? Because you said something about like a 7-hour video and a 4-hour video. Are there two different ones out there, or just one?
So there were some live streams that I did, and all of the hackathon stuff was done during live streams. But then we trimmed it out to kind of remove the parts that we didn't want, and it's about a 6 hours in which everything that was built, the whole decisions of architecture and also implementation, everything is there from UI to the game engine.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yes.
You said we. Who's we?
When I was doing the live stream, I was with the community, so I would say we as in.
Oh, I was part of that.
Yes, you were. So you also did that. Yay!
I have YouTube videos.
Yes.
Did you write the CSS from scratch, or did you use a framework?
I mean, I used Angular, but when it comes to CSS, no, nothing. I used Tailwind CSS, but that's essentially working from scratch per se. So all these modals, these positioning, everything was.
That's what I meant. I was looking at your CSS. I was like, is this Tailwind? I think this is Tailwind, because I was looking at some of the classes. So that's why, because me and my husband we're getting into Tailwind right now. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's like a, okay. So how did you like it? Have you used Tailwind before this project?
Before this one, yes. And my community knows very well that I have been one of the Tailwind haters in the beginning. And then gradually I kind of converted to like it. Once you get to know this, or you practice a bit, it becomes really easy, especially with the VS Code extension. That is an absolute love.
Okay, very cool.
Awesome. Someone joined my lobby without even sharing the link. That's super cool.
They typed out that really painful URL. Are we going to play one more? Do we want to share with the audience?
Yeah, definitely. For sure. I mean, this is some effort that should be rewarded for sure.
In the chat, there was also a question about how difficult would it be to show the real-time scoreboard, so you could see maybe a progress bar of how far along everybody is. I'm assuming that you have access to all that data. It was just a limitation of the hackathon of time to build that UI out.
Yes, definitely. Even the scores themselves are real time, because when the game ends, it pushes that to Firebase, and then when everyone is on the scoreboard, they timely kind of update on the UI. So we have everything, as you said. And I was thinking about that, and I told my wife that I plan to add that, and she was like, think about it twice, because people like her would be pressurized by seeing that progress bar and would not finish. But yeah, I think that's a really cool thing that can be added to this. Awesome.
Maybe it could also be collapsible, so you don't have to, if you don't want to see it.
Just hide it. Close it.
Mhm.
And I'm going to share the latest code base as well.
I'm excited to go watch this video. It sounds like it was a lot of fun. You said
Yeah.
it's the 6-hour one is on YouTube?
Yes, it is on my YouTube
Okay.
channel. Yes. Awesome. I think we can start it and then let's see who gets it this time. Hopefully not Prakul.
I'm gonna play with both eyes closed.
And you really pay for that misclicking, you know, with the with the duration of the flips, you know. Whoa, 20! What?
Ooh, what? Awesome. Look at that.
Wait, what? How? I'm confused.
Yes.
Everyone won but me and Huff. How is this possible?
That's the
I'm
person
very
who
upset.
wrote the entire URL, so that's fine. Awesome.
How? This feels my heart. It hurts.
I'm gonna quickly
Dang
show you
it.
one little neat trick that could be useful, but not sure for how long. If you click here and then if you try to or it doesn't now? No. One of the things that people found out was sometimes you could click and drag. I think I fixed that, and you could see all the images.
Oh, and you could
So-
see them. Yeah.
Yes.
See the
And,
map. Yeah.
I will
definitely.
point out that I had the same emoji more than once.
Yes.
Me too. I
That
had
is
lots
possible.
of grapes.
Yeah, I had grapes.
Yes, that is possible. Yes.
So many grapes.
And here inside, you can see the emoji if you look closely.
This
Right?
seems like it would be slower than actually playing the game, though.
Yes.
Not if
And
you
I
wrote a
checked it.
script to do it.
Come on, everybody. Come on.
That's what
Right.
I was doing during the intro. I was writing that script.
Right. That's good.
And that's the script right here.
Wait, what? Oh my goodness. Shut up. Did you write this so that you could test it faster?
No. Someone in the community pointed out that that's a bug, and I was like, okay, let's create this script, and then we are going to fix this. So I have another video on creating this script,
Nice.
and then we'll fix it later on as well.
It's interesting because, like, for me, I'm always excited about game dev and diving into it and stuff. But
Mhm.
what's exciting, one of the exciting elements of it is what we're talking about right here, which is like, if I have a business application and something like this gets discovered in that, I'm nervous as hell. And I'm like, crap, I got to fix that. It's like, it's not a good feeling, right? But like with
Mhm.
game dev, it's almost exciting that it's like, oh, somebody found a way to hack around something. You know, that's cool. I'm excited that somebody found that, and then I'll go in and I'll fix it. But I don't know. It's a different feeling. How is
Yes.
that? Do you experience that same sort of thing here?
As gamer, I won't say so, but as a player or a developer, maybe, because I used to play Call of Duty, and I even now just look at the
True.
videos randomly. There's a bug right now in one of the game modes in Call of Duty Warzone that anyone can fly a car, whereas they're not supposed to be flying, and that car doesn't destroy even if it hits walls, and can go through different buildings and kill everyone. So people might not be happy when they found out that one,
From a gamer standpoint, right?
but the
Right.
developer, yes, definitely, yes, that's
I think-
fun.
Me and my friends always take advantage of any cheeses we find. We always. Come on, Shorty. Like there was this one where you could like get behind the map and like bypass a boss, and then once you went back to him, you could just infinitely keep killing him for loot. Like obviously, I'm gonna do this as much as I can before they patch.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
You're
that's
like,
what
no,
Neo and Trinity do. So they're honorable. So I guess
Yes.
so.
What are
Oh,
they?
nice. Mike linked to the. Oh, is that the YouTube video, Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
Shorty, can you put that in the YouTube chat?
So demanding. Sure, absolutely.
Thank you. I'm just asking you to copy and paste. It's not like I'm asking you to go to Stack Overflow and do the same.
Good thing that'd be tough.
Can you show us some live linking bits? You know, when you're like talking to Firebase and you're doing some of the logic, and you show us some.
So
For
the other
bits?
question is this animation? Is it using the Angular animation library or is it CSS animations and transitions?
I think Tailwind, right?
I don't really think I have any sort of animations implemented at all.
The flipping of the cards is what I was referring to.
Oh, that one. That's just pure CSS.
Okay.
What about like when you click on info, that slides out, right? Like that's not.
That's also
Yeah.
Tailwind
It
CSS.
doesn't
just positioning and the CSS transition.
Nice.
Awesome. So we were talking about talking to Firebase. Right. So essentially, I think whenever we join a particular game, so most of the data, since this was a MongoDB hackathon, everything or every persistent data is essentially in MongoDB, and I used the Prisma ORM. That was first time. That I think that was the only risk that I took in this hackathon to try that out because I have never used Prisma. And they had like their ORM. So they have a JavaScript ORM that you can connect with MongoDB, and that's in beta. And even though if I saw that was in beta, I tried it, we got stuck, and in those 17 hours, I think there was at least 1 hour or about 45 minutes that I was stuck in a single problem with Prisma, and I couldn't figure it out live on the stream. But after 45 minutes, I actually found it. It was just that I needed to use an array instead of a single instance for a relation, and that blew my mind, and that I was so frustrated. But the thing is, I don't know why, as a developer, or at least I don't know. Maybe you can confirm as well. But even though how much time it takes for fixing something, when it's fixed, the feeling is totally changed, and I forget about all of that time, and the sense of achievement is completely different. So, yes. So, in regards to Firebase, I think I can share a couple of things in terms of how the game essentially works. Let's see. So we got the flashback working here. We got the real-time database right here. And cool. So these are all the games that have been created. So let's quickly go ahead and create oh, what did I do? I clicked my link, which I shouldn't be doing. So it should be go to home. Let's go create a new game. And then this. So as long as as soon as we do that, there should be a new game that has been created here. So I'm going to quickly copy this, try to find this. And then inside here, you can see that as soon as we create a game, I'm going to zoom in a bit as well. We can see that we get the participant ID, the host ID who just created the game, and the game ID and the URL itself. Some of the logic in this game is persistent on the URL because a lot of people are going to join your game using the URL. So that happens, and then we have the state that isn't waiting. Now, the real-time stuff is mostly going through this state. This state is what changes, and also the participants is what changes as well as people join your lobby. So, for example, if someone else is going to join the same lobby, they're going to be added as a new participant. For example, as you can see here, we got a new random player. And if I go and try to join the lobby, it's like this. You can see that it says my name, but then you for the person itself. And then the person is here as well. And we have the new participant already added in the participant ID. So as we do it in Firebase, that quickly reflects on the other page. Then when we start the game, we change the state to playing. That's how everyone knows with the round splash. Now there's certain bits and pieces around that because it's the same round page. If I talk about technically, it's the same round page, but first time it shows a bit of different situation where it shows you ready or good luck, but the next time you refresh it won't show that. So there are really little UX pieces that were put together there just for a really good user experience. When we are done with everything, I'm going to probably run my script just to go through this faster. And when we are done, the state changes for this one as well. Everything else, the scores, the game, the users themselves, they are right now being stored in, and you can see my console logs as well. Really good. So everything is stored in with the score, for example. So here you can see every person's score. This is coming from the MongoDB and being shown here, so we can reflect them right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it when the state is finished. Now, one really cool thing about this is that and the viewers can also verify and report if they find a bug, but I have tried to make sure that whenever someone joins the game, whatever the state of the game is, we navigate to that particular state. For example, if a game is finished, even if they try to go to the lobby, they won't be stuck in the lobby, they would go to the scoreboard. Similarly, if the game has started, they will not be in the pre-start lobby, they would directly jump into the game itself. So yeah, there's a if the people watch the video of creating this, they will find a lot of cool things.
Nice.
Cool. And someone said I did this better. Someone created a better script than mine. What a nice comment. Awesome. I did this better.
I think we need to see a demo of you playing the 2048.
Oh, for sure.
And here's a question, and I don't mean to. Oh, this may come across wrongly. Does the game stop if you get 2048, or does it allow you to keep going?
The game stops.
Okay.
Yes. And we show a confetti, party poppers. So I've never done it myself. So my confidence on that is probably 0.68. But I've tried it using debugging, and I saw the confetti with my own eyes. So
now, is that
yeah,
is that a particle effect, or is that just some CSS confetti?
there's a really nice package called Canvas Confetti, and I have a YouTube short series as well where I share packages like this one or anything that I find useful. So this essentially creates a canvas object and then kind of throws the confetti over on the top of that, and there you can pretty much configure this with a lot of things like the angle, velocity, how many poppers you want. So I'm using this one.
Nice.
Awesome. So yeah, this one has sort of a similar vibe in general. I absolutely love this Google font. So I use it in every game or every project that I work on.
What's the name of the font?
It's called Dongle. Yes.
I like it because it kind of gives you this like branding for you, like anytime you see, that font, it kind of makes the association. I like it. Are you gonna get 2048 on stream right now? Like, is that what's happening?
No pressure.
No pressure.
I have never gone past 256, to be honest. I have seen people going to 512, and I consider them genius, much more smarter than me. But I've never seen someone with 20480 yet. So
I solved Wordle the other day. Does that count?
You saw what?
I solved Wordle the other day. Does that count?
Yes, definitely. It's pretty much similar.
pretty close to the difficulty of this game, right?
Yes, awesome. So I have been trying to take out some time to create a tutorial for this one as well, but I have not been able to because I do want to teach in the easiest way understandable possible. And that is not come to my mind on how I would do that, because it involves RxJS, but also some sort of nifty techniques that one of which I can probably show here as well on how we do it. But yeah, let's play the game. So essentially you need to combine using your arrow keys, or you use your gesture controls and try to merge all those blocks in general. And as you combine those, you would potentially get a 2048. Let's see. And I've shared the link in the chat as well, so we can share with the audience as well. No, this doesn't look promising. Maybe.
I like their little bounce effect. It's cute.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm close.
Oh, that square's heating up.
Yes. Let's see how long can we go.
Get those 16s. Nice. Yeah, 64.
I have a 256.
So I've never really
You
played this
do?
before.
Really?
Yes.
That's nice.
You're just combining like numbers, trying to get all the way as high as you can before blocking
And they have to be
yourself
next to
in.
each other to combine.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to get one up to 2048. Got it.
Or in our case, we'll take 256.
There we go.
Woo!
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but we should get confetti at 256. I feel like personally, just
Yes. The pressure is too high at 256. Definitely.
Get achievements. Unlock achievements each step.
Yeah, I think I can
Yeah.
sleep well tonight. At least I've got 256 that I can show off.
There we go.
We should do more.
Oh,
spin.
there it
Oh,
goes.
yes. So yeah, there we go. 256. One of the things that I can share really quick that I wanted to is, and I got this again. I think it's when you have a little bit of experience, you usually start looking into other people's code, and that's a really good idea that I usually tell my community as well to look at. This is the original game that someone created with I don't know when, but it's like years ago, and it has sort of the similar vibe. Much better animations, much better UI in general, but sort of the same vibe. And the thing is that when I was creating this using, if you imagine all these elements being either empty or having an element on the view, you cannot move them because you have 16 blocks, which is either an empty block or something with an item. So how would you do this transition, like this movement from one place to another? That becomes really hard. So I had a look at this code. Whoever developed this is probably doing some more magic. I didn't go as complex, but I kind of achieved the similar situation where we can swipe and go to different places. But essentially what they do is that they have sort of a clone, or they don't have the 16 tiles, but they only have the ones that are usually on the screen, and they position them accordingly based on the CSS. So they see how much larger a block should be and what is the row, what is the column, and then they give them a particular transform, and then that works like this. So can I remove this? Yes. So as you can see, it is placed accordingly. And it was really nice that I do want to share in the tutorial as well, that I mean, of course, those who have worked with SCSS, they know that they can run a loop and generate all of these really nice classes to generate CSS properties, just like this one. That's what I did in the game as well. If anyone would inspect the code, they would find it. And I don't know, for some reason, they have some duplicate elements that do not show. For example, there is this 4-3 here, and then there's another 4-3 that is, I mean, they both are at the same place. I don't know why. That's why I say they do something complex that I'm not sure about. But here, it's sort of the same concept. We have some sort of transform being applied. Otherwise, they don't change places. So when we change the whole items, they decide their position, and then they get their CSS class, and they move accordingly. So yeah, just wanted to share that.
This is another one of those things that's exciting to me about game dev, and like being able to, like, when you explore and you go into these things, and it's probably good, same with any other type of thing that we dive into and check out, but you get to start seeing things that are, you're solving problems and doing these things. And all of a sudden it can open a world of, hey, what if I apply that back to this business app that I'm building, right? So now you start thinking about the things that those solve, like positioning and resources and things like that. But you can take that same knowledge and apply it and go, what if I did that over here in this app that I'm working on, business and stuff like that? It's pretty cool.
Definitely. Awesome.
That is cool. We had a question about, Hans asked, imagining a solution with WebSockets. I'm assuming that you're using Firebase, so under the hood it's WebSockets, but maybe they're asking about like maybe not having the Firebase, but using just directly the socket connection to multiplayer and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be probably exactly the same. I personally think that it would have taken me more time to implement WebSockets compared to Firebase, both because my familiarity with Firebase as well, and also I think you need to have. I'm not really sure how much heavy it would be on the server if there are a lot of people who are just creating those sockets that the server has to maintain in memory. So in terms of architecture, I also wanted to segregate the real-time stuff and also the data that I save in the backend. So I wanted to keep the backend as less heavy as possible.
I guess when you're using the Firebase, everything flows through the data source, right? So like if you wanted to communicate via that socket from one client to another, you'd have to put it in the database so that it can be selected from there. There's no like, or does Firebase provide you a direct connection as well that you could use?
Firebase does provide a direct connection.
Okay.
So there are essentially two different copies of data. One for persistent database that is in the MongoDB, but for this real-time communication, that's a completely different thing. So it just sits on the Firebase.
So like if you wanted to implement chat and I talk to you, but that data never goes to the Firebase data source, but we could use Firebase to send those chat messages back and forth to each other through the app?
No. I think you need to have that in the database. Yes, you're right.
So that's where like maybe then we bring in WebSockets to handle
Yes.
that type of client-to-client communication without
having to.
Firebase. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. It's also crazy too because like we play all this, we check it all out, right? There are so many layers of things going on, and you mentioned some of them, right? But that's the craziness about it is that there's elements throughout the entire thing, and similar to when we build our business apps and things like that. There's always more under the hood that's just not visible, right? And sometimes it's hard to appreciate from a distance when you're just looking at the surface and using it. But the things that are going on under there is amazing. Yeah,
definitely yes. And there's always things that you can think of when you're developing this, little corner cases, additional features. But yeah, it doesn't end up in towards the end users. They just see the final product.
It's very cool. Very cool. So, I mean, as you went through this process and completed it, did it just stoke the fire and get you more excited to want to do more and more and more? Or are you kind of managing that with Notion and being like, okay, I got to do all the things still, so I'm kind of good?
Once I finished this, I think yeah, definitely after the hackathon I didn't stop. I then had to do a couple of changes. For example, this was initially on Heroku on a free tier, and that kind of sleeps when you're not using this. And I wanted to share this with community and say that, hey, go and play. But then when they go, it's dead. So I needed to. So I'm personally a front end heavy full stack engineer, you could say. So I'm not really familiar with AWS and GCP and whatnot. So I spent like I think 5 to 6 hours understanding AWS for the first time, deploying into the EC2 instance, and deployed this. So right now this is on AWS. So it's awake all the time. So yeah, I didn't stop there.
I'm in the same boat as you, and I was recently struggling with this. The sleep is real on Heroku, like it's legit. And so I was looking for alternatives, and I can't believe you went down that route because I tried Netlify, and like their free tier doesn't sleep. So I was like, but that's really cool that you did that. Is that part of your stream that you did?
No, that one I did not. No. And yeah, I think it's as I said, it's gonna go further from here as well. As I said, it can be a game engine that people can use, and it's a free and open source, so anyone can use that. There's gonna be more work coming up.
Nice. Well, it certainly stokes my fire, gets me excited. I'm ready to get back to some game dev hacking and stuff. So, yeah, I've been using Phaser. Are you familiar? Have you heard of Phaser? Canvas, HTML, JavaScript engine for game dev. Yeah, and I've been combining that with Angular and hacking on some stuff there. It's pretty exciting.
Really nice.
I'm gonna just go ahead and book a show with you as the guest for Phaser and Angular and that combo. So that'll be good. Stay tuned.
Awesome. All right, well, we're getting to the top of the hour. Let's wrap it up. We can. You want to do some picks? Do our panelists have any picks? Blank stare, nothing.
I'm streaming. I'll start on Code It
Okay.
Live, the Twitch channel. I do UI Mondays, and then I also do JavaScript Girl in a .NET World on Tuesdays. So come hang out during the week. I love seeing like people like consistent in chat, like getting to see them throughout the week. This has been a lot of fun. So, and I also know somebody else has been streaming. This I'm never good at the pointing. Mike, whichever
he's
side of my
muted.
head you're on. Are you muted?
Probably yes.
I am muted. So funny story. Yes, I've been streaming as well on Twitch. You can find me at BroccoDev there. And I've only had 1 or 2 streams so far when I start, and I remember to unmute my mic. So I'm learning. I'm getting better. So hopefully I can continue to improve and provide some good content. But I've been working on an Angular app built with Ionic. So I've been having fun with that.
Nice.
All right, I'm getting close to testing Confetti.
Oh, you're focused on.
That's what's going on.
That is definitely what's going on.
Okay.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna pick a show on Netflix, anime series called Arcane. It is amazing. Such great storytelling. I think like the production value across the board, I was blown away by it. And everybody I'm talking to is blown away by it, from the sound to the cinematography to the animation to the characters. It's just amazing. So it's called Arcane. Yeah, that's my pick. So check it out.
Awesome. I can quickly share about the streams as well. So if you try to search Code with Ahsan, you're going to find Twitch, YouTube, whatever platform you prefer. I stream on multiple platforms. And if you're interested in getting your skills to the next level, make sure to check out a book that I wrote earlier last year. And it's called the Angular Cookbook. What I like to do in my videos and also in my book is having a problem, having a solution, and walking you through that. So that book contains more than 80 problems and 80 solutions, which are really small. You can do it in like 15 to 30 minutes and used in your enterprise applications. It's going to be fun.
Woo!
Awesome. Where can we get that book?
Yeah, like is there a link? Link?
Yes, there's a short link that I can quickly share.
That's the short link sound effect.
That's the short link sound effect.
Best short link sound effect ever.
Awesome. Throw this up here. There we go.
This was so much fun. Yeah. Thank you for coming and doing this knowledge share and resource share. It's really cool. Really cool stuff.
Thanks so much. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you sharing your time with us, for sure.
I have one more pick. Can you share my pick? Can you share?
All right.
Oh, is that what that was? Okay. I was like, oh wait, did you get it? Shut up. Did you get the confetti? Shut up. Shut up.
Hey,
oh my gosh.
I'm going to share the confetti though.
What? What? Come on.
Do it. I want to see.
All right. It's the top of the hour, so have a great Friday.
Am I stopping right now?
Weekend.
Want me to stop before you get it?
Do it, Mike.
Oh! Excellent.
Oh God, we need to clip that. That was beautiful, and everyone's reactions is perfect.
I'm gonna cry now. It's the best day of my life. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you, Mike, for confetti.
Right, what a great end to the cap. Perfect. All right, that's a wrap. Thanks everyone. Appreciate it. Have a good one. We'll catch you next time.
See you. Thanks everyone.